always get into the weirdest situations, especially when it comes to just business and kingdom stuff or whatever. So when we hang out, we always expect God to do something. And when you have a lifestyle of literally going through life, watching to see where God's working and joining him where he's working, then what you find happening is you get invited into his activity because God's always at work. So today, we're hanging out just to talk about business stuff. We're going through some of our list of things we need to do. And he says, hey man, let's go to Elevation Burger and get a good burger. Or no, actually he said first let's go to Brio. And I'm like, no, I don't have room for a steak. Hey buddy, I have room for a burger and maybe tops. And then we head over to Elevation Burger. We get there. I'm like, for some reason I'm not hungry, which we found out later was the Lord. And he's like, me either. Maybe we should go sit down and do coffee or something, talk about business up front, come back another hour, eat a late lunch. I said, that's fine with me. It's very strange because we don't usually do that. So went and did business and met, and then we came back to Elevation Burger, and he's like, do you want to eat here or somewhere else? And I said, yeah, let's eat here because we said we would. I mean, we were so committed to doing the Elevation Burger thing. We had gone into it the first time, stood in line, got all the way to the front line and getting ready to order, and then we look at the guy and say, we got to go, we're sorry, we'll come back in an hour. So we did. Same guys there. We go back through the line. We get our burger. We go to sit down. Daniel says, let's sit over here. Is this okay? Do you want to sit in the back? Do you want to talk? I said, here's fine. We spend the time that we have talking about all of our relationship stuff and all stuff that God's doing with the Forest Fire book and everything, and open up doors for some campus ministry and just amazing things. We get down to the end of it, and I'm sitting there, and a guy walks in and looks at me and goes, Dustin Hedrick? Now, I live 50 minutes away from this restaurant. So I drive 50 minutes to go to work in that area and meet Daniel at a restaurant I haven't been in twice. And a guy walks in and sees me and knows my name. This is DC metro area. That is radical in itself. Turns out it's somebody I worked with years ago at Starbucks. And his name's Jeff. Jeff says, man, where have you been? What's going on? 10 years ago is the last time I saw him. So Jeff and I start catching up. We start talking about what he's doing now. I won't get into that because I don't want to put his business out there, even though he's an amazing guy. And we realize that we can work together. I've got IT stuff I can do to help him and work in Salesforce. And he brings up Salesforce. And I said, I'm a developer in Salesforce. He looks at his friend and goes, that's what this guy does. And then I looked at him and I said, you do Salesforce? He goes, yeah. And then he states his position. And I don't want to get into the details of that because I don't want to put him out there. But it turns out he's a very important person between Salesforce and Veterans Affairs at the federal level in DC, which is a relationship I need and I can't get for myself. And he looks at me and says, you do Salesforce? And I said, yeah, actually, have you heard about North Carolina Veterans Affairs? And he says, yeah, who hasn't? And I said, that's me. He goes, you're kidding. And we start talking, and bada bing, bada boom, God had us in this place that we couldn't even imagine. We've gone through this rigmarole to get there so that this conversation could happen. I get to talk to Jeff about what God's doing lately, and I don't know if he's going to church at this point in his life, but I got to encourage him. I got to turn around to this guy and talk to him about Veterans Affairs, and now he's going to bring me into the conversation in DC when it comes to Veterans Affairs stuff, which goes right with what I've been trying to do with PTT. So I'm just telling you, when you put God in the center of the equation, he becomes the most important component. You get to join him in adventures, and that's just one of many, and I'm sharing it because it just happened today. More to come. Tons more have already happened.